Hello, good evening. Just a quick one, I think. Just going to the shop. I've got my sister on a detox at the moment, and one of my lemons have gone off. I need 2 lemons for tomorrow, day 404. So I need 1 lemon. And as well, I've got a headache, and I'd quite forgotten that normally I eat raw onion. I haven't done so, I think, for a long time since I've been here at my sister's place. But as preventative medicine, I always used to have a piece of raw onion on a daily basis. So I've just been reminded that raw onion is very good for a headache. It's got detoxifying qualities. So a lemon for my sister, an onion for me. Which is funny, my brother phoned today and I gave him, he wanted to know the latest results for my sister, his sister as well. So having told him, I mean, I'm not going to go into it here, but having told, for the purposes of keeping good energy, there are things we don't discuss. So I told him, and he said to me, well, it looks like you're going to have to make some of your remedies, which I think is funny because he's the second person to have said this to me, which means people do pay attention after all. So the conversation yesterday was about doctors, to the extent we were saying that the doctors will say there's nothing more we can do for you, for that person, which I think is somewhat arrogant, because just because that's as much as they can do, it doesn't mean that there's nothing else that can be done. And what I'm finding more and more, people are speaking the same language as me. So just before I left out, what I did hear was someone, I won't say who they were talking about, a couple of doctors, and they were saying, the question that the person asked was, do doctors sometimes have a God complex? And before the person who was being asked the question could say yes or no, I said yes. And of course the person said yeah. So I think gradually people are going to come to realize that the medical profession, pharmaceutical industry are not our friends. Now, I appreciate that there are people who will say, but I had this procedure and the doctors and the nurses were fantastic. But I come from the standpoint that, well, I can only speak for myself in saying that I do my best to live in such a way that I don't need to undergo the procedure. So I think gradually people will realize that, well, speaking to another friend last night, or it was the night before, and he said to me, do people not, I mean, there's a lot that I'm not saying, I'll come back to it at some future date, but he said to me, do people not realize that the whole point of doctors and hospitals is to make sure you don't get better? Which is what I've been saying, because I've said this on another video, it's similar to undertakers. They need people to die. Otherwise they're all going to go out of business. If people don't die, they will have no custom. So I don't know where we're going henceforth with the coronavirus thing. because I don't even listen to the various announcements. My brother mentioned, I believe it's the 19th of March or something, they're going to end lockdown. I don't know. But I don't pay any attention. I stopped giving this thing attention, I think, maybe in December, when I realized I wasn't going to go out for New Year's Eve. So I've stopped paying attention to it. When it ends, it ends. But I would say, I mean, there's a lot that I can't say at the moment, but of course, you know, this video is going to be a marker. But let's just say that at the minute I'm doing alternative medicines. And so there's a lot of inspiration going into this. I said there's a lot that I can't say for the purposes, I don't want to draw the wrong kind of energy to the situation. Not just with my sister, but with me as well, with what I'm trying to do for her. But it is interesting that the medical profession will take a person, cut them up, pump them full of drugs, and then say, there you go, sorry, there's nothing more we can do. I find that really interesting. So I'm going to leave this one here, and like I said, can't say things, but I've put this down as a marker. The date will be a record, and in due course I'll come back and I will say the things that I'm not at this point able to say. So you guys have a good night. Look after yourselves.